All right, welcome to the 10,000 subscriber Q&A. I get so many questions on a daily basis, both on YouTube and Instagram, regarding just kind of the videos that I'm making, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and I try to answer as many of them as possible, but the unfortunate reality is sometimes I just can't because I get a lot. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's keep it casual. Let's make a dedicated video where you guys can ask your questions and I can hopefully answer them. So some of these are more specific. Some of them I've kind of grouped together in categories. But with that all said, let's get right into it. Best way to get quality clients. Now, I'm going to assume by quality, you mean luxury clients, but quality could also just mean, quality could be subjective. Quality for you could mean someone who values and respects you as a creative partner. Quality could mean someone who has a high volume of listings where they're always giving you business. Or quality could mean luxury, right? How do we get luxury clients? And that's where I'm going to kind of answer this question. That's the avenue I'm going to take for this. If you want to get luxury agents, you have to reach out to luxury agents. You can't just expect them to reach out to you. Your work does speak for itself, but only to an extent. If you want to grow your luxury clientele, you have to be active about it. You have to go out and reach out to those people. Be more selective of who you work with. Stop reaching out to every realtor and start targeting the luxury ones. Stop bringing on work from everyone and start picking the clients that you want to work with. Your brand or your social media presence also has to be in alignment with what a luxury agent would want. So if you're posting work from all of your projects, right, homes that are, maybe the more typical, standard, average type of homes, you're going to have a harder time attracting luxury agents because they're going to associate you with more average type properties. Something I learned from my good friend JT Visuals, he says that you have to create the content that you want to get paid for. So my advice, if you want to start attracting these higher quality agents, you need to start putting out content that is going to be a magnet for those types of people. Now, I got a lot of questions asking about frame rates. What frame rates do I shoot and edit in? 90% of the time I'm shooting at 60 frames per second. When I'm shooting B-roll of the house, interiors, exteriors, wides, details, drone, always 60 frames per second. The only time I switch is when I'm shooting with an agent on camera. If an agent is speaking on camera, I'm gonna switch to 30 frames per second. And 100% of the time, I'm always editing on a 30 frames per second timeline. Now, I also got a lot of questions regarding gear. What gear do I use? As well as, questions along the lines of, do I need the best gear to create high quality real estate videos? My answer to that question is no, not at all. What matters is the skills behind the camera rather than the gear itself. Now, for a quick rundown of the gear that I use the Canon R6 Mark II as my camera. I use the new Laowa 12mm t2.9 cine lens for all my wides. I use the Canon 24-105 f4 for all my details and mids. My gimbal is the DJI RS3 Pro, and for the drone, I use the DJI Air 3. I'm based in the UK, and I'm trying to start this trend off over here. I'm a bit unsure whether the UK real estate market will take this on. Any tips trying to break the mold? Now, obviously, this person is based out of the UK, but the advice I'm going to give you can be applied into any market. Whatever location you're in, you can utilize this. Now, if you want to start a new trend, you want to start making videos that are different from everybody else, just do it. Just do it. Just make those types of videos and the market will adapt. That's what I did. I was the first person in my city to start doing the speed ramp style videos. Nobody had ever done it before. Agents had never seen it before in my market. And I was the first one. And it was a little uncertain because, obviously how are agents going to react? This is totally different. And this was 2-ish years ago when this kind of started. But now, everyone in my market is trying to do these speed ramp videos. And everybody's doing the new kind of style of agent hooks and all that kind of stuff. So if you're in a market that, hasn't seen a certain type or style of video that you want to create, don't let that hold you back. Don't let that discourage you. Take advantage of that. Be that trendsetter break the mold first, and people will start to follow. My advice to you, don't let that hold you back and just go out and do it. What's the hardest part of your job? Is it anything specific to the actual camera work, or is it something else? I would say the hardest part of the job for me is the creative aspect, right? I've shot hundreds of homes. And so it's at the point where, you walk into a house and it's like, all right, I know the shots I'm going to get. I know the basics. I know what I'm doing. And that's a good place to be in. But for me, I want my clients to get the absolute best. I want their videos to stand out. So how do I bring my creativity into each and every property? How do I make it different every single time? Secrets to exposing correctly, mainly interior shots, but also for agent in camera. My biggest tip for evenly exposing interior shots is going to be utilizing your ISO and your aperture. I will typically shoot around ISO 3200, and my f-stop or my t-stop will be somewhere between 6.3 to like 9. And that way I can get a pretty good, well-balanced interior, as well as some good detail out of the windows without absolutely blowing them out or crushing the highlights. I'm also shooting in a log profile to maximize the dynamic range I can get out of my camera. When it comes to exposing for an agent, always prioritize the agent. Always prioritize the exposure on the agent over the room. Any strategies to increase retention in real estate reels? A strategy that I typically use, I got this from my buddy Jeff from Known Productions. He says you need to have another hook every 3 to 5 seconds. So every 3 to 5 seconds in your video, something new needs to happen, something to recapture or regain the viewer's attention. Whether that's text on screen, an agent coming up and saying another line, or some sort of flashy transition or a music change. Every 3 to 5 seconds, something needs to be happening. Always be thinking of how you can interrupt the pattern multiple times throughout your video, and that should help with keeping retention. Rain, energy drinks. Goated. I'm locked in right now. All right, let's keep going. Do you ever get in posting lows where you don't want to post a video? Yeah, I would say I do. Probably more often than I would like to admit. I have a very high standard of quality that I've set for myself when it comes to the videos I produce. I want to be the best. And so I push myself really hard. And I think sometimes what happens when I get into a posting low is just a result of me being too hard on myself, where I'll make a video that maybe it doesn't push the envelope. Maybe it isn't the absolute best that I could have done, or it's not the craziest house, or it's not a video that's going to go crazy viral, or it doesn't have the best sound design or the best color grade or the best this or the best that, whatever. And it discourages me from posting, where I'm like, I overthink it too much. And it's like, all right, I just don't want to post this because it's not where I want to be. It's not the videos that I want to be creating. And so yeah, it happens. But what I've learned is that you just got to post it anyways. Done is better than perfect is what I've learned. Done is better than perfect. So whether it's a real estate video that I've made or a piece of content where I'm talking to the camera that I don't love, I just have to know that you just got to get the reps in. Just got to post that video, and you never know what will happen or what will come of that. How much time do you spend per edit? For typical client projects, about 2 hours. For kind of director's cuts, videos that I'm posting onto my feed, usually around 3 to 4, 5 hours at the max. At what point does an editing trend go from fresh to played out or overused? Now, as someone who really likes to be creative, as someone who's always trying to innovate and create new ideas, seeing other people creating the exact same videos with the exact same songs, fonts, hooks, sequences, all that stuff, it can be kind of frustrating. It's like, where's the creativity? You straight up copied this from someone else. But I had a conversation, I saw a comment on a Facebook post that kind of changed my perspective a little bit. And it's that as real estate videographers, we are very involved in the real estate video space. We see all the same videos over and over and over again. However, our clients are not. So a video that is trending in our industry, in our niche, that we've seen 10, 15, 20 times, our client has probably never seen before, or maybe they've seen one. And at the end of the day, it's our clients that matter. Our clients are our priority, not other real estate videographers. And so if you're creating for you, if you're creating for your portfolio as a videographer, I would say, try to stay away from the trends. But because we're working for our clients, trends are kind of irrelevant. If something is working and your client can benefit from that, you should create and follow the trend to make sure that you're leveraging that attention, leveraging that opportunity for your client's sake. And so my perspective has shifted from, don't do trends, trends are stupid, yada, 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 to, if it works, utilize that and leverage that for your client. Final question. What did you do better than most to be where you are today in the real estate video market? I don't know if I did anything better than most to get where I'm at, but I think I did things at a higher intensity than most people do, at a higher frequency. I developed an obsession for the craft and an obsession to be the best. And I used that obsession as my fuel. I wanted to make every single video better than the last one. How could I make every single video better than my previous video? What did I learn from the last project? One of the things I also did was I studied my favorite real estate videographers. Not just watch, I didn't just watch their videos, I studied their videos. I would try to find aspects of their shooting techniques or editing techniques that I could implement into my videos. I would study how they would sequence a video. Why did I like this video? Why did I feel emotionally attached to this video versus that video? Why was I engaged through this video when it was slower than the last one? All these little things I studied with a high obsession so that I could learn from them, implement that into my videos in the hopes that I could one day be like them, in hopes that in one day I could be the best. And I still have that obsession to this day. And that's the difference between me and probably 90% of the industry. So with that being said, that concludes this Q&A. Let me know in the comments, did you enjoy this video? Did you like this style? Would you like to see another Q&A in the future? And if you found this video valuable, I think you're really going to enjoy this one right here. With that all said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.